Well, I think in the circumstances we'll make a start. Can we start with George, please? No particular order, we'll go by age, I think.
The youngest first. Right, good evening. This is the report on the Chest Tomb project. Thank you to the Council for backing me with regard to the above project. As this is the final meeting of the 4-year period, some councillors may not be around the table in May. Finance. Our request for a donation from St Andrew's Trust will be considered at the meeting on the 10th of April. My thanks to Councillor Townsend for his work in obtaining grants for this project. To do the work we need a faculty. This is being arranged by the Friends of St Michael's Church, to whom I am very thankful. However, we have 2 problems to overcome. The first is that the DAC, Diocesan Advisory Council, requires a view of Historic England South West before they will give their answer. But previously, Historic England South West had said that as the monument is neither grade 1 or grade 2 star, they would not normally be involved. The second point is that the Historic England South West have raised the point that my proposal differs from that in the Conservator's report, i.e. I want to replace the panels, not secure the present flaking pieces of stone onto a panel. I've written to the firm that produced the report for clarification. In conclusion, the project is still ongoing as of today.
Thank you, George. Colin.
Thank you, Mr Chairman. Can I address the Council on the planning application that's before you this evening, which is 0719 0009 Dolphin Cottage. It is our request that we would like to put in a conversion in the roof of Dolphin Cottage. Dolphin Cottage is not a listed building, although it's very old. One of the purposes is that Dolphin Cottage, the original cottage, is a single skin building, and hence its thermal retention is quite poor. Whereas we've done ground floor works to secure a warmer property, a more insulated property, we feel that going up into the roof will help minimise heat loss through the top of the house. And so I brought this basic drawing. You've probably already seen it online, but all we're doing is putting 2 dormers up in the roof with a small roof light which allows for headroom as you come up the stairs. I will in fact be losing 1 room in the house, so I'm not doubling my number of rooms, I'm losing 1 in order to provide for a staircase. So the dormers will be facing over the rear of the garden, so they're not on the road side. As you know, the road runs right around the back of Dolphin Cottage. These are looking over the front, or the what is effectively our front garden. Okay, so it won't disturb the neighbours that are above us, and it looks straight down Church Lane anyway. So that's our proposal, and so I thought I'd take the opportunity just to explain it, why we're doing it. Thank you very much, Mr Chairman.
Mr Martin, please.
Okay. Thank you, Mr Chairman. Good evening, members. I presented my client's proposals. I'm representing Mr and Mrs Westwood and speaking on their behalf in connection with their application to convert an existing garage and workshop into a single dwelling adjoining the Laurels of Wick Lane. As I said, I came to the committee meeting back in January to explain the proposals, so I'm not going to take up too much of your time this evening. What I have brought with me, and I don't know if it's all right to distribute these to members, I have brought with me copies of the submitted drawings which illustrate our proposals. And again, if you recall from my previous presentation, this is a self-build application which is supported by Sedgemoor District Council's new policy, D9, of their adopted local plan. It was formerly known as policy D10 before Sedgemoor's plan was adopted, but it's now been renumbered. The purpose of the self-build policy is to give individuals the opportunity to build their own properties, and policy D9 does support self-build proposals and building plots that are outside the settlement boundary. We've had discussions with Sedgemoor's planning officer, and she's been supportive of the proposals. But the application, as I said, is to convert an existing garage and workshop into a 3-bedroomed new dwelling house, as you can see from the drawings. The existing garage will be altered with a new roof above it, and the bedrooms, which obviously occupy the first floor, will have dormer windows in the southwest elevation, looking towards Wick Lane. There are no first floor windows in the southeast elevation, which looks towards the existing property, the Laurels, and the adjoining property known as Orchard View. There is a single landing window in the northeast elevation that looks over the rear garden of Orchard View, but that will be glazed with obscure glass to avoid overlooking and loss of privacy. There's substantial hedges on the northeast boundary that separates the property from Orchard View, the access will be from Wick Lane, as you can see from the site plan, and we're proposing that the existing access should be slightly widened to allow the construction of a separate driveway running along and parallel to the existing driveway that serves the Laurels. So I hope that's all clear, and if there are any questions, I'd be also pleased to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you then, thank you. So, on that basis, sorry, anybody else? On that basis, we'll make a start. So, apologies for absence.
Cynthia hasn't arrived yet. Not arrived, so we hope she hasn't lost any hand of it. But we assume she's going to turn up at some point.
Well, that wasn't the plan. She was just looking for glasses. But that was at 20 to 7.
Okay. Right, okay, moving on then. We've all had a copy of the agenda. Anybody got any objections to the content? If not, may I have a proposal that it's acceptable? So can I have a proposer?
Which one, agendas or
It's on agendas, sorry, I lost it. Minutes, please.
Declarations.
Oh, sorry, declarations, big pardon.
Decorations,
Yeah, declarations.
Mr. Chairman, can I declare an interest in 0719 0009
Yeah.
Chairman, back to my normal as District and County Councillor, personal interest, and to avoid predetermination on the Planning Committee, the applications that are before us today under item 4.
Anybody else?
I know Colin.
Well, we all know Colin, so I don't...
Do you? Oh, he told me, it was only me.
You can say whatever you like. I'm going out the room. All right.
Okay. I think we can accept those. Okay. Right, sorry, moving on then to the minutes.
Minutes.
Anybody objecting to anything? If not, can I have a proposer for the acceptance of true and accurate record? All in favour? Good, thank you. I shall sign. Well, not so bad as some. The last one, was it the last time as well? Thank you. Right, moving on. Planning application. So, Bob, you're going to leave.
There's one planning application on the agenda which we don't need to discuss, which is 719 007, which apparently has already been agreed, and it only required a neighbourhood consultation, which has now been completed. So we can just take that one completely off the discussion.
Thank you.
So number 6.
So the first one is 0719 00006 erection.
That was granted permission yesterday.
It was.
6, was it?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
take that off.
circumstances have overtaken us again.
And the second one, it's prior approval wasn't required.
Yes, yeah. That's number 7.
Yeah,
So that's gone through as
Yeah.
well.
number 8.
So we're down to 8 now then.
Sounds good, doesn't it?
Quick. We like this.
I wonder how that one got approved.
Well, I'm
The
afraid
only thing, it must have been very much on a deadline somewhere, but whenever they're on a deadline, they're always informed, saying, well, we may not get a response until a certain date, so whatever's happening, I don't know. But anyway, it happened, so...
Yeah, okay. Moving on, 00008, erection of a 2-storey and single-storey extension at the rear at Journey's End, Station Road, Brent Knoll. Anybody got any thoughts?
It's on the downline.
Sorry?
On the downline.
On the downline,
It is.
In the yard, station yard.
that's Journey's End.
Yeah, absolutely. Has anybody got any comments regarding the proposed changes?
No, Mr. Chairman, it's just a straightforward 2-storey extension.
That's what I
I don't see, when I looked at it, I didn't see any problems associated with it.
My proposal was that we would support, unless anybody's got...
Needs support because it's around.
Your proposal support.
Yeah, has anybody got any objections to that proposal? Can we have a show of hands that we accept?
So you're supporting on the grounds of?
Property improvement, general property improvements.
Colin's going to go and play with us.
Got to stay outside for a long time.
So, 00009, installation of 2 door windows at Dolphin Cottage.
Can you see it? Okay. Can you all see it? Yeah. Not very well.
Not focused.
Not sure I can change the focus on there actually. This focus on there is changing.
It's difficult, I mean. My personal view is, again, that I was to support on the grounds of improvement.
There haven't been any objection.
Not that I could see when I looked.
When Colin made the presentation, you said about one
window
Roof
light.
light.
Roof light.
Yeah.
On the
2
stairs.
dormer and 1 Velux, but
Yeah,
2 Velux, yeah.
He didn't explain the Velux section.
Well, the Velux is, he actually said it's over the stairs to
I
give headroom.
thoroughly agree with that, but there's only the one. But
There's only one Velux.
if that is over the stairs. So there's one window over the stairs. They talk about 2 Velux windows.
So can we have a look
To the front.
Can we have a look at the plan?
Because the front of the building is at the back, just to confuse it.
Yeah, there's no problem. No problem with that. It's just the number of.
So, elevation, and proposed
Oh, I see.
elevation, that's what we're looking for, isn't it?
Yeah. There's one between the two dormers,
Yeah.
and I don't know where the...
I don't know where the other one is.
Because you said they're all on one elevation.
Yeah.
So,
But David said maybe that the one is 2 in fact, like close together.
Double width.
Double open.
there's only one proposed elevation, so there's not one for any other.
Is there the
Aspect.
actual application form?
I see.
Probably somewhere. Not here, I don't know.
I just wondered if we could have looked at the... you know, I never looked at
But
the...
look on that drawing, there's only one to me.
I could only see the wood.
So, right.
Well, except it.
Well, the dormer windows not going to get into anybody's way at all. It overlooks his garden.
Yeah, and the Velux is going to see the sky. And the Velux would be the sky. So my proposal still stands.
Yeah.
Yes.
So support on the grounds of improved...
Can I ask, there looks like a balcony or something on the left there, above the dormers.
Where?
What is that?
It's the roof.
Rail. That's the roof.
It's little blocks with writing in.
That's a roof, right? Okay.
That's the roof line with explanatory notes.
Right.
Is it
Which you can't read.
Is it possible to improve the focus? Is it my eyesight?
Do you know how these things change focus, David? No, I didn't.
If you could zoom in to make it look better.
The expert.
Wow.
It's still, the
Still not very
writing's
clear.
not blurred.
It's not very clear on this screen, to be fair.
Well, what's it like?
Yeah, fine, people.
You go across, David.
Where do you want to
Go,
go?
go.
Right across to the front.
The other way.
Right.
That's it.
Right the other end.
Thank you.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
two.
it's like 2 together.
Hanging using second hand, it says. Or that's what you go back a bit.
Go back a bit.
Back a bit. Something tile hanging second hand. Vertical tile hanging second. Yes, I see.
To match existing.
Well, I presume that's true. Is that true down the window?
You've got a line up the middle, so whether you pass that as
Just
two or...
the 2 units. Yeah, one. 2 panes.
2 panes. So I think...
Open independently.
Yeah.
Are you okay with that, Malcolm?
Yes.
Good. Right. So we can move on.
So can we just get the support on that one? If you said support, would we...
Yeah, support on the basis of enhanced.
Is this unanimous or majority? Unanimous? Yeah. Unanimous. And we're supporting on the grounds of?
Improvement.
Improvement.
What about putting, I'm just trying to think, what plan the office sometimes say is, okay, so you're saying improvement.
Thermal efficiency.
So I was going to say, is that, are you happy with that thermal efficiency?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was mentioned, wasn't it?
Okay, that's fine. Next one we're on to then.
Well, we're going to get Colin.
Hang on, get Colin back in.
Colin.
Can you remember what we said last time?
You haven't had this one before, have you?
Was it the pre...
It came as a pre-application.
Which we did,
Paul actually came with a
comment on,
pre-application.
didn't we?
We didn't comment, it was just simply to get us an outline plan of what you're proposing, but this is the first application as such.
Mr Chairman, Bob's gone down to see whether Cynthia's okay.
Oh, right.
Okay.
That's very Christian. Thank you.
Yeah, I thought it was.
10 cold, isn't it? So we're moving on now to 00010, Colin. which is the changing the use and conversion of a garage and workshop into a dwelling on
So
Wick Lane.
if I can get up on the size of it.
Mr Chairman, it was not so long ago that we were asked to support the Laurels when that was a garage to build into the house. I think this is still the same people, isn't it? I've got no problem with the house, it's just that it's going on to land outside the cottage.
Well, I think as the applicant's agent has said, it's going to be a self-build, and therefore there is criteria within central planning to support such development when it's just on the edge of the.
So self-build for what? For the person that already lives in the line, or for
For
someone
people
else?
that will be living, and if you recall when we had the presentation last time, there is a time period, I believe, of 3 years, where they have to occupy the building, and the people that will be occupying it is the people that are the current owners or occupants of Laurel or the Laurels.
Very good.
That's as big as we.
Sorry, everybody.
You can sit in.
Did you see it?
Sorry, I've only got a pair. Can I sit here?
Yeah.
Did you see Bob on your travels?
Yes, he's just
He's just
in the lift,
outside.
thank you.
Oh, good.
He has.
You want you didn't miss each other.
No, no.
So any thoughts? Anybody got any thoughts?
It's got the main plans there on the table.
It's a serial builder.
Anybody got any views on this particular application?
It's overdevelopment of a site,
No,
but you can't pre-guess what's going to happen in the future, so you've got to take it as it stands, haven't you?
I mean, that's about the only issue, I guess, is that one of overdevelopment potentially.
Yeah, I mean, Orchard View are taking the brunt of it because they've got 2 houses. They will have 2 houses down the side of their garden, whereas at the moment they've got one neighbour at Kilrimont, and then they've got the one at the Laurels. Now they'll have another one adjacent to them. It's imposing. I don't know what others think.
Mind you, the building is already there. There is a building,
Yes. Yeah.
There's an existing building, albeit not occupied as such.
It goes on. It hasn't done.
Any other views? If not,
It was a riding area, wasn't it?
That was countryside.
I think, Mr Chairman, I think we have no alternative but to support the application. I don't see anything against it. Does anyone else see anything against it?
I would like to put forward that we make no observations,
I think as well.
that we don't support it. It is already being used as a garage and a workshop, and the environmental health officer has already said that there is probably contamination of the land, and that needs to be made sure that that hasn't happened, and whatever the use for that building has been previously, that has to be approved before this planning permission. So if we support it, then that will just push it forward, whereas if we don't support it and we just say no observations, then that contaminated land will be investigated, the highways and also is standing advice, yeah. And although it is a self-build application under the new policy, has that actually been brought in and accepted? I didn't know what they...
I don't know
But the D9 policy, it is outside the settlement boundary, so again, if we support this application, does that mean to say that we're supporting anything in the village that is outside the boundary? I just think it gives a piece of information that maybe is not the bigger picture that we want to portray.
Well, that's the point, isn't it? You can't second guess, and you can't say it sets a precedent because you can't take that into consideration, can you? Precedents. So you've just got to look at it as it is. But I agree with you. I think no observations.
So can I have a show of hands whether we're on no observations, please? That's the majority. Thank you. Right. Moving on to
Westwood Farm.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. May I just take those drawings from you?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So 00013, which is land at Westwood Farm, they want to extend to increase the caravan park and timber chalets. And members will not remember that we've had a similar application back in, I believe it was December. The thing that struck me was a statement within the access and design document where they say they recognise the concerns that were raised when the last planning application was turned down, and as part of the resubmission they are making a significant reduction in the numbers of caravans and chalets. Now it's going from 56 static to 47 and 10 chalets to 9. Now I have been a statistician in my life. Significant doesn't appear to be significant.
Could we do that in a percentage?
Well, no, because percentages are not always very misleading, because I mean 10 to 9 is 10%, isn't it? So you know, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Where in reality it's only 1.
Yeah. This has previously been refused.
Yes.
And there were 3 reasons. And it was about the size. The comprises of a significant expansion in the existing tourism facility, which would be more than double the size of the site area, and it's prominent within the countryside location, and that the character of the landscape would be compromised because it's flat and you'd be able to see it, and there's insufficient information to confirm the adequate methods of foul and surface water. It's also a medieval settlement area, and there has to be a study of archaeological importance, and it has to be monitored before any of the development, and a report needs to be made. And like you said, Mr. Chairman, that significantly reducing the numbers, 10 is not significant. So, bearing in mind, you know, I can see that they were asking to actually identify each of the reasons and the policies that they were referring to. However, this is a large site. We've actually been down there a couple of years ago, didn't we? Did we go to this one? Yeah.
Yes.
And it repeatedly comes up, you know, with different ways of getting this planning permission. And at the end of the day, there's sufficient there without this extension again of another 60 properties.
On the basis of our last deliberations, we proposed, the accepted proposal was that we wouldn't support on the grounds of overdevelopment and drainage, and I would suggest that our previous comments
stands.
I think South West Heritage made an important point, which Andrew did pick up on, that it's an area of historical significance there, and does need to be investigated fully before they do anything anyway.
Whether we can make a comment on that, we don't believe it to be a significant reduction. The re-proposal.
I think the proposal,
it's still overdeveloped.
I think our objection still absolutely stands.
So can we have a show of hands on that?
So just to clarify this, because I made the error of writing on a previous application that we were just submitting the previous response, and the thing came back to me, the planning was saying, you can't do that because it's a new application. You can't just say, well, look at our previous response and take that as our current response. It's got to be a new response. So
the new response.
Put down historical. I've just taken notes of what you've been saying.
It's overdevelopment, and drainage,
and historical,
and drainage, and historical,
and also the countryside where the character of the landscape is flat, and this would actually inhibit the
so it's landscape impact.
Yeah, the countryside location. Yeah, impact the character. Sorry.
Okay. Right, I've got all that.
Silver birch tree.
Is that, by the way, is that unanimous? Is that
Sorry, we did have a show of hands on that, as you know.
I'll recall it later.
And then the last one is silver birch tree to be reduced at the crown by 30%, and I would suggest that's good arboreal practice. We support. That's the proposal. Thank you. Okay. Can you ask Bob to come in now? District or county, whichever you want to do it in. County first?
Yeah, I'll keep fairly short, Chairman.
15 minutes, Chairman. Just checking.
Just going to the toilet.
He's going to check the box.
He's checking something in the toilet.
What's he flushed earlier?
He's looking into his convenience.
He may be flushed with success.
There's only a couple of quick things anyway.
County?
County, I mentioned to you before there was talk about doing a parking review across the whole of the county. Just to let you know, they have now started the county parking review in Burnham-on-Sea and Highbridge. So basically what they're doing is looking at the signs and lines, reassessing whether there are areas that need parking control which don't currently have it, or alternatively whether there are some from the past that could do with being removed. They will be liaising with the town council over that, but also local residents can feed in. Also, one of the things the county is looking at doing is that they currently have about just under 70 minibuses that they use for transport. 7.0. They're looking to actually increase the number and introduce some larger vehicles up to the sort of 53 persons on board, particularly to look at them running some in-house service, starting initially with school transport, which at the moment is contracted out. Part of the reason is that there's been a number of bus contractors who have gone out of business, and so the competition in the market has been reducing, and as we've seen with the commercial services, we've lost them in our area, and that's happened elsewhere. So what the county are looking at doing is re-establishing themselves potentially as a provider in their own right. Initially, as I say, starting with the school transport, and then looking to see whether they might look at going into some of the commercial routes as well to provide some competition to Somerset Bus.
Brilliant.
So it's a start, but we're looking to take that one forward. Obviously, as I reported at the last meeting, we've just finished the budget rounds both at the county and at Sedgemoor. To be frank, there's not a lot to report from Sedgemoor at the moment. It's the run-up, obviously, to the elections, and therefore things are quieter at Sedgemoor at the moment in terms of other things. But happy to take any questions if there are any from members.
Anything for Bob?
Just going back to the parking mention, there was an article on Burnham website this morning saying local people were and visitors were very miffed because half the parking meters on the seafront were not working.
Yeah, no, I saw that.
Yeah,
no, certainly that. I'm sure they will be following that up, because obviously it's a loss of revenue as well as an inconvenience to the parkers as well. So yeah.
Anything else to
Half the car parks got over for buses that park free from tourists into the area.
There's a section certainly in the car park that's behind the which is used for the coaches. They've actually just were named as one of the most coach-friendly towns. I think we came in they were a finalist, they didn't actually win it, but Burnham were finalists in
Yeah, because they were free.
Yeah, to obviously attract more people to come and spend their money in Burnham and enjoy themselves on the seafront.
Yeah. If you're local, you've got to pay. And pay your rates.
Yeah.
Anything else for Rob? So that's it. Okay, thank you, Rob. Footpath, anything on that, Peter?
No. No, sorry. No. Nothing.
Nothing to report.
I've had nothing reported to me. Sorry.
Okay, Colin?
Mr. Chairman, the rail on the path from the upper Kissing Gate to the top Kissing Gate is still needs replacing. I did meet Dave Welland, but no price has been forthcoming.
So that needs following up, doesn't it?
Yeah, to be honest with you, he did carry out work almost immediately for someone in East Brent that I knew, and perhaps he just doesn't want to do our work. But perhaps we could get to just see, look, are you going to price this and do it or not really?
Right, highways, Malcolm?
The only thing that I've come across is that at the junction with Station Road and Brent Street, there seems to be a loose inspection plate or manhole as you drive through. It makes a terrible clunk as you go through. So I don't know whether it needs looking at.
Is it actually on Station Road then? Or is it
It's
on
actually on the start of Burton Road, Brent Street and Burton Road.
Okay. So it's a loose inspection. Okay.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes?
We mentioned before this huge hole on the side of the road beyond the houses in Ham Road. It's still there and it's getting worse.
Been reported to
And
3 times.
also the white lines around by the roundabout here, they're very pale. They really need renewing. We've said that before.
Yeah.
You're talking about the
Pothole on the hill.
Yes, I thought that's
Pothole
really
Hill Lane, Copper Hill Lane, just below the entrance to the farm. It's on the left-hand side, going up. It's filled in about 6 or 8 months ago, but it's all out again.
Peter?
We did bring up some months ago about the mess in Wick Road, was it the verges disappearing where a car went in the ditch down there within the last month?
That was reported to the county, and what the county said to me was they were going to talk to the developer of the solar farm.
Yeah.
Because they must have a responsibility.
I've got a reference number for that one, so I can follow that one up.
It might be useful to keep it on the boil. And I guess the 40-mile-an-hour speed limit decision is yet to be made.
Correct.
On the A38. Who did the Village Green toilet block and car park areas?
I did. Just
Can you read it okay? With
yes, I can. I can read these kind of glasses. Sorry. No, I couldn't find it. Sorry. I think it's last year.
The last entry.
Yeah, but yes, I know, I'm getting there. I do know what I'm doing actually. Right, March 2019. The green was fairly tidy and the grass was kind of ready for cutting. It's now rained, of course, so obviously they'll be looking at it. And there was some litter on the green itself, but not too badly, not too much. And it just needs what I call a general tidy up. You know, after the winds and so forth, we've got a little bit of bits and pieces that have blown off the trees. And also there's the green, which we are addressing, I know, to the right-hand side of the green itself, which is a problem. But that's an ongoing thing. The car park, nothing to report on that one. And the toilets, I can honestly say they're splendid after the refurbishment. and everything looked really smart, clean and tidy in there. And yes, so there's nothing too desperate.
Do we have a plan for next time, bearing in mind it be a new council?
Well, Bob is for April, and then obviously I need to issue a new rota from May.
Okay, thank you.
So I can't do that at the moment. To be honest.
Okay, so if you can be kind enough to do that next time, then please, Rob. Monthly report from GB Sports.
I sent out.
Thank you.
Basically, I think we're back on asking GB Sports to quote for.
They were supposed to come last week actually and postponed for some reason, but they are aware of this and they will come in due course.
Okay. I guess flooding has not been an issue, Peter.
Not that I'm aware of. Excuse me. Not that I'm aware.
Given that there may well be some changes and Peter won't be here probably, it gives us a problem with maintaining the pump. We've got a flood manual that needs to be given across, and we need to, I think, ascertain where all our kit is.
And indeed who's in that group.
Yeah, so I think it's something we just need to address, or you will need to address in
At the next May meeting.
Yeah.
Parish surgery, police matters.
Well, we only have one attendee, or two actually, if you include Kim McCain as well. And the only issue that rose was dog bins and rubbish bins again on the issue out opposite the school where the one was removed a few months ago. What I have said to the lady in question is that we will have to do a review at some stage of where all our dog bins and rubbish bins are to make sure they're all in the places where they should be. That's probably a job for a new council and a new council term, so to speak.
Okay.
To look at that. Seems to sum up the issue really.
They also raised the issue about the guides and
Yes.
dog
Oh yeah,
plastic dispensers.
Yes. Yeah, they raised that. It's not on the agenda, but has anybody got any comments about it?
So somebody set fire to the one
Maintain
in
the people
Burnham.
who have dogs should carry their own bags.
Yeah, somebody set fire to the one in Burnham.
That's right. That were vandalised, unfortunately.
It doesn't encourage it, really.
I'm not entirely sure what you're asking us to do in terms of any sort of approval. I don't think we can.
Unless it's on our land.
I think the suggestion maybe is they're going to approach individual householders as to whether they're prepared to have them on their property and take it that way.
Who's proposing this?
The guides.
Okay. Moving on then.
Actually, the bonfire, the one in Burnham, upset people. There's something else with our work.
Anything on current matters?
Nothing on current matters. I mean, it's all been about finance for me this last few weeks, so nothing that won't be discussed under the financial side of things.
Right, correspondence received. We've got an item which is on the agenda anyway.
See what happens actually. Speak
Well,
what can.
no, the Parish of Three Saints
Yeah.
project support. It says consideration item 8J of this agenda.
Yeah.
So that's on. And the other one, Speedwatch team again, even though it's on at 8K, I think we're going to have to defer it to next month.
Yes.
So, moving on to finance, please.
No, there is. You have to bear with me a little bit on finance. There's a lot of bits and pieces this time of year because obviously April is a sort of revisiting of things. I think that if I just take it in order, the first thing that needs to be agreed is statutory payments. John, if you could just take one of those and pass it on to one, and just pass them around the room. Statutory payments, of course, are the payments that we agreed to make in advance in April, that we will then continue to use that as our template throughout the year, because none of those payments generally will all be static payments. So It's something we started a couple of years ago, and it's quite a useful thing because it means that you can agree on that statutory list at the commencement of the year, and it saves us having to go through every item on every agenda. On there, you've basically got Clark's, you've got Jason Mayer contract, GB Sports, and Sedgmoor Cleaning and Dogby Emptying contracts. So they're all the main items for the statutory payments list.
Will the Sedgmoor change in lieu of the
No,
new toilet?
no, that is the correct one. That's the latest one, which I will discuss with them. So, just looking for your agreement on that statutory payment list before we can then approve the other payments, which are part of the April payment list.
So, can I have a proposal that we accept these statutory payments for the forthcoming year?
Is that necessary?
Sorry?
Why is that necessary?
So that they can just be paid
They
out
can
to
be
us.
paid off.
We're being asked to sign it, are we?
No, you haven't got to sign. It's only
You just
just the chairman. That's all. Just Richard. You need to sign it off. Just say that you agree.
Well, I need a proposal from the council.
Proposal second. You have nothing to
Can I
sign.
have a show of hands, please?
Okay, that's fine. Let's go on that one.
Could I ask one
Please
question?
query it, Bob. If you've got any
In
queries.
terms of the next item, we've got looking at the payment for statutory payments is 2939 on the agenda for today,
Yes.
whereas it's 2584.
It's because there are some variations on the Sedgmoor contract.
So it's less next year than it is at the moment.
It is, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do I just sign this one, or your official one?
That's all right. That's fine. I purposely went through to Karen to get an updated sheet on that. So. Right, so next item is agreeing the payments for the month. Now we've got a number of payments here. The Moneysoft payroll, this is our annual subscription we pay to have software suitable for making our payroll. Some parish councils use Sedgmoor services for their payroll. We have never done that. I've always managed our payroll with our Moneysoft software. I don't think it makes a lot of difference because I think Sedgmoor make a charge for it anyway. So I don't think there's any further cost. But that's the payroll software. ICO Information Commissioner's Office, this is a government body that require us every year to become part of the Information Commissioners scheme that protects us for any data infringements. The class expenses and allowance for January to March period, again John, I just asked you to just wheel that around so you've got a copy of it. Is consistent with the previous year. The one thing that has risen a little bit this time is printing. That's the only thing. There's been a bit of printing due to the elections and to other things. So that's the class expenses allowance. The Eon energy supply is again consistent with previous years.
Is that a quarter or more?
That's bi-monthly, every element. 2 monthly.
Thank you.
I haven't kept it simple, I'm afraid. The CPR subscription for the year 1920 of £36. We had the choice to make any amount in that, but we've always chosen to stick with their recommended amount, 36. And the largest item on there, which is Paul Dixon's costs in connection with the toilet block of 4,000. Actually, they came out a little bit different with that. Slightly, a few pounds more actually. 407,136 was the actual amount. Because there were one or two other bits that weren't included in the original invoice. So they're the payments outside of the statutory.
So do we need to vote on the 4,000, or do we want to
No,
vote on the 4076?
you can do it on the 4076 if you don't mind.
Mr. Chairman, can I just confirm to all the councillors that Paul, in Paul's account, he gave a credit for the basins that he didn't otherwise supply and install, and he gave a credit